Hello, my name is Chris Mullins. I'm here today to just demonstrate a little bit about building plastic models. I do this a lot in my spare time, and I've been doing it for 24 years, so I think I do a pretty good job with them. We'll start with the first step, which is to put the model together. When you buy a model, it comes in a box, and all the parts are on what's called a tree. You take them off, you have to glue them together. Sometimes you, like on hulls and on fuselages for airplanes, sometimes the part pieces get warped, you have to putty sand it down. So it's a seamless edge. It happens quite often, especially with longer aircraft, bigger aircraft. They twist from heat. Happens a lot when models get old. After you put the model together, then it's time to paint it. And that's where I have the most fun, because I do a lot of tanks and aircraft and ships from World War II, and I love doing the camouflage on them. But first, I have some examples here of camouflage that I've painted, and we're going to talk about a little bit about how it goes. And the first one is a German tank destroyer from World War II. This is called a Jagdtiger, which means hunting tiger in German. It's painted with a base of beige, and the green and rust colors are the foliage and the shadows of the foliage for the camouflage. Has some detail that I added here on the sides, if you can see it. You can't really, it's hard to see. It's called Zimmerit. It's here around the bottom, all around the bottom pretty much. And what it is, it's like a clay substance that they put on the tanks in World War II to so the magnetic anti-tank mines could not stick to the tank. It took hours. There was a layer of putty with a screwdriver to make the little rills, and then I painted over it all. As you can see, some of the putty is chipped off. That also happens over time. It has to be redone. The track. All the track back then was steel track. It was steel, so it was shiny. Of course, over time it rust. You can also add effects like that. Just paint it steel and then add some rust-colored paint to it. You can also add mud, oil stains around the engine compartments and such things. That model is about 10 years old and it's held up pretty good, I think. This is also painted in the same basic camouflage pattern. Well, camouflage colors, but not the same pattern. This is a German tank also. This is called a Mouse. It's one of the biggest tanks ever made. 180 tons. The M1A1 Abrams is only 70 tons. And so this is quite large. The track is about twice as wide as the track of the Abrams, which is tracks. I'm still working on this one. It's fairly new still. This is also painted with a base of beige, also with the red and green foliage, but it's more together. Back then, they usually painted, they didn't have just one camouflage, different units painted their own vehicles, so this is also another German tank. Tank destroyer. The difference between a tank and a tank destroyer: the tank, the turret moves. The tank destroyers have no turret because the guns are too big and it would flip off. This is painted in a desert camouflage with dark yellow and shadowing for whatever foliage or shadowing there might be in the desert. It also has extra track glued to the side, which is what they do that still today. They put extra pieces of track on the turret in case something breaks. And this one, it has the decals on it. You can see the Iron Cross, which is still, it's been the symbol of Germany for a long time. They use it in World War II, they still use it today on the German vehicles. These are water-soluble decals. All models come with decals. You put it in soapy water and put it on there, and it's on there. You can also buy a decal set, which is kind of like vinegar. You brush it on there a little bit, and it'll melt it. It'll press it down more, kind of melt it into the plastic. Makes it look like it's painted on and not a decal. Those are some of my better tanks with camouflage. I also put together a lot of aircraft. This is also German. I do a lot of German stuff. This is called Stuka, which stands for Sturzkampfflugzeug. In English, it would be a dive bomber. Sturz is diving. So, all German aircraft were painted with white and blue on the bottom. Japan and America both use gray. Germans are the only ones I know that use light blue. This is painted with a base of dark green with black green. There's a shadow. You can see it. It looks pretty dark. It looks almost black, but it's called black green. The Germans use a lot of colors like that: black green, black gray, and violet gray. Stuff like that, really dark colors for shadowing. The different ones. This is an anti-tank dive bomber. It has 37mm cannons, no bombs. One of the most awesome planes that ever existed, except for maybe the A-10 Thunderbolt. I also have here a ship. This is the USS Missouri, a United States ship. Also with camouflage. In World War II, we camouflaged our ships. These days, they're all just gray. They're just kind of boring. Camouflage is better. It's more exciting. And it's funner to build. I didn't paint this as any base. I painted all the three gray colors separately. It's black gray, dark gray, and light gray. You can see the different ones. It goes all the way here up to the towers. It was meant to break up the silhouette of the ship, so other ships from afar, or planes, scout planes, could not tell how big the ship was from afar. The other side you can see even better. It almost looks like if you were seeing it from afar, it could be a little ship. It could be a little boat here. This is the deck. They all used wood decks back then. Now most of the decks are steel. I think usually they use teak. At least on the cruise liners they use teak. I'm not exactly sure what they use on this ship. It's military, sometimes it's hard to find out things like that. But the last example I have is not a military ship. This is the Titanic from afar. This is just basic. All the red is the waterline, and then the black. The white, it came in white. I didn't paint that. I left it as it was. White's sometimes too temperamental. If you don't have to paint it, don't. As you can see, the stacks are dark yellow. I took all the information I could off websites to get the paint right. because the instructions, the paint is not right. The tarps on the lifeboats, light gray, a whole lot of detail here, which you can't really tell in this video because the camera's not that good. But this took a long time to build. As far as ships go, you have to mask the areas. You have to mask the areas to get the line straight. It's really hard to make a line that is so long straight by hand. But I paint all my models by hand unless it's a large bomber type airplane or a car, which I do very rarely. Gloss paint's really hard to make gloss paint's really hard to brush without leaving streaks. So you can buy a can of model spray paint, costs a couple of dollars. And finish it. Same thing with the big airplanes. It just uses too much of the little jars of paint to hand paint it. So I just spray them. Like B-17s or B-24s are huge. In 148 scale, which means 148 is 48 times smaller than the original. All my airplanes are 148 scale. My armor's 135 scale. The ships are different because some of them are so large you can't really do a 135 scale ship. It would be bigger than your house. But I appreciate your time and thank you for watching.